Hey YouTube, Bullets for Freedom and Liberty here. Sorry it's been so long since I've shot a video, but I'm back here in the reloading room and getting ready to do my coffee chat. The only difference is I'm drinking battery acid over there instead of my coffee because it's late in the afternoon and I'm getting ready to go. We've got to head in for a shoot. We've got an action shoot going on tonight at my range. So I am loading up some of my 110 grain Hollow Point by Eric Olin, hollowpointbulletmold.com. Love his products, but decided to go ahead and set up my middle press here with the bullet feeder. There's the glass Pyrex from Wade. I think it's Wade Larson, and I'll put a link on that later. But so I'm on the middle press today. The second press is set up for my large primer, and so I've got about 5, maybe 10,000 bags of 223 here that I'm getting ready. I've got, I don't know, 20 or 30 bags of these down under the workbench, getting ready to swage them and cut them down for a 300 blackout. I'm building a 300 blackout. So see over at the case prep, there's some more bins and whatnot that I'm working on. So anyways, Coke chat, coffee chat. So I'm going to just try to muster through this. Just a first real funny to share with you guys. I was in Arkansas this last week, and I had one of my Hillary for Prison t-shirts on, and I'm at this truck stop, and I had this woman come make a beeline right for me, and this woman was angry. In fact, I wish I would have had my phone or my camera at the time, because this would have made a great Alex Jones video or whatever. She was spitting and cussing, and you have just, it's hard to describe, without going into too many vulgarities. I think she pretty much called me every name in the book, which was fine. I've got fairly thick skin, and the thing that caught me by surprise, I guess, more than anything, was she made this comment: do you have any idea of what kind of a woman she is and all the great things that she's done? And I looked her right in the eye and I said, ma'am, that woman needs to be tried, convicted, and publicly hung. And she just went ballistic. I wish I had my camera. It was out in the truck because I don't normally bring my phone in with me. I do bring my sidearm though, but I don't normally bring my phone with me. So anyways, and that leads me to my coffee chat for tonight, as I'm bending up. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, that didn't work. I got to pay attention. So, one of the things that I put in on my on these videos is to educate, empower, and arm yourself, educate yourself, empower yourself. And the reason why I put that there is simply because perfect scenario where I was at there in Arkansas. Now, I was armed at the time. I don't care what if Arkansas law says that I can't carry. The Second Amendment guarantees that right for me to carry. So this did not warrant any kind of violence or anything like that. The woman was incredibly upset, which was fine, but it didn't warrant any kind of, she wasn't a threat to me. But how many people own firearms? Hundreds of millions of people own firearms. And how many of us, or those who own firearms, are actually trained to use them? And my case in point, coming up through St. Louis the other day, there's another 40. That's why I do this by hand. Took about 7 hours to get up through St. Louis because the Antifa idiots were blocking the freeway, and it was just an absolute mess. But how many of your spouses, significant others, friends who own a firearm, who do carry, but don't actually actively train with the firearm that they carry? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because knowledge, for those of you who don't know this yet, this is my opinion. Knowledge is not powerful. That old adage that knowledge is power, it's BS. It's not. It is not. And the reason why is it's only until you apply that knowledge does it become powerful. And case in point, firearms. Firearms safety, firearms training. How many idiots are out there running around with their concealed permit saying, I got my permit, I got my gun, and how many times a year do they actually get out and shoot? And I don't mean by just going down to the range and punching holes in paper or that's pretty much all they do. Now, I'm not saying range time isn't good. It is. But how many are involved with action shooting or involved with, drawing from your holster, drawing on a target, drawing in a heated scenario? What do you do in a situation if you and your wife are stepping out of the movie theater and you come around the corner like my wife and I did the other night? And, it wasn't that dark of an alley, but, where I live, we've got a huge gang presence. The Sinaloa cartel is up here. It's pretty crazy. You never know. And especially now with all of me being a white guy, a white patriot, could we become a target? Sure. So in what scenarios do you draw? Are you educated enough on when to draw, how to defend yourself? What's behind your target? How many people are in the group if they're swarming you and a bunch of young punk Antifa people? And what are your rights? What's going to be the outcome? There's a lot of scenarios that could happen in a split second. And it's one thing to just, spray and pray, but a firearm is an inert object. This is an inert object. This is a brass, primer, powder, and some lead. That's inert. It's only when it is chambered and activated that it becomes the deadly part of the weapon. Guns aren't deadly. It's the people pulling the trigger that are deadly. So my point is, if you or someone has an interest in firearms or an interest in defending themselves, who would just like to maybe start out shooting, who are new to shooting, if you've got young kids, firearm safety is number one. The anti-gun people would say, well, no guns is the ideal scenario for them. Well, that's fine. They don't have to own guns. But a gun is an inert tool. Knowledge is only powerful when you use it. And if you don't educate and don't train yourself in multiple scenarios, hostage scenarios, IPSC or USPSA or action shooting, to where you're constantly drawing from your holster, or you find a range that has a tactical room, or you've got to clear a room, or you've got to, pretend that somebody's breaking in to your house, and train, and train, and train. So when it comes to casting and reloading, I cast my own bullets, I reload my own, so I can shoot 3 times as much for the same price as factory ammo. That's my reasoning. But I guess, guys, my coffee chat is to educate, empower, defend yourself. You never know. I hope to God I never have to draw on anybody. Would I feel comfortable in a scenario? Depends on the scenario. I've driven all over the country. Unfortunately, sometimes there's some pretty shady places that I've got to park. And it drives me nuts. I can't stand it. Will I defend myself? Absolutely. It's a pretty heated debate topic for most people, to carry or not to carry. It's your own personal choice, but for me, I choose to carry everywhere I go. Whether the sign on the door says guns aren't welcome here, then my business is taken elsewhere. But so that's it. Just remember, the best way to piss off a liberal is use facts and logic. And apparently, I keep hearing that these little things cause cancer in California. So all you guys down in California, be careful, because this stuff causes cancer. I know it's a funny joke, or it's not a funny joke, but whatever, guys. So want to give my shout out to our military, both domestic and overseas, guys. Love you. Appreciate what you're doing for us, especially my son, of course, my son down in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and his friends in Korea, Germany, Georgia. Guys, appreciate what you all are doing for us, all of our military. Bullets for Freedom and Liberty is a huge support of our military. Can't thank you guys enough, because without you, there is no us. So appreciate you guys. So appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't yet, click subscribe. We've got some pretty cool stuff coming up here. I'm going to be building a 300 blackout, so we're going to be doing some testing on that here in this next couple weeks. And I'm going to be around more, so hopefully more videos will come in. So again, guys, thanks for watching Bullets for Freedom. Have a great day. See you out in the range.